The full week 1 of college football has ended. So we want to talk about a couple of games that were kind of, are you serious type games? Georgia, Clemson, Oklahoma, and Alabama. All that coming up in a few seconds. Alabama! As Forrest Gump and them would say. Went out and at the Chick-fil-A kickoff game, cooked Miami 44-13. I mean, they were up at the half 27-3, and it just did not look like Miami deserved to be on the football field against Alabama. Now, I had said on the preview show that I felt like Miami would have been a team to give Alabama problems, and obviously Alabama just proves everybody wrong every single week. Those that had Alabama not ranked in the top 5, well, actually in top 4, people had them actually ranked as 4th. They just felt like with Bryce Young, new offensive coordinator, things no, didn't matter. Alabama went out there and did it. So, Jimmy, I want to ask you, do you think Alabama is serious this year? Is it fair to say that Alabama is serious?
Like, is it even fair to even ask that question?
I mean, right?
Yeah, and to some degree, part of what I was going to say attributes to what you just said as far as what they lost. So, Field Yates, as we all know, he does ESPN fantasy and stuff like that.
Amazing.
Had a fantastic quote that pretty much summed up everything about this 44-13 practice that Alabama had against Miami. He says, Field Yates, so Alabama lost a Heisman Trophy winner, another first-round wide receiver, a first-round quarterback and running back, 3 drafted offensive linemen from the best O-line in football, a first-round cornerback, the MVP of the national championship, the top assistant coach in college football, and just comes back like this. That's it. And I think we've said this before. It's kind of echoing what we've said before, that anything to do with college football on any level, whether it's gameplay, practicing, schematics, recruiting, Nick Saban has everything figured out. He has the entire game in the palm of his hands. And this is...
He got the whole world in his hands.
Exactly. And this is a testament to that, because Miami is a real program. They're ranked 14 for a reason. And it looked like a scrimmage. You have your quarterback who hasn't started a game before going out there just having fun. 344 and 4 touchdowns for Bryce Young?
9 yards per pass.
9 yards per pass? When you lost everybody on your team last year?
It's not preposterous.
Fair. It's not fair is what it is.
It really isn't. And it feels like, and I will understand if people say that Alabama's team this year can beat the worst NFL team like the Jets.
So we're getting into that territory, are we?
I can understand people saying that. It's ridiculous, but I understand people saying it because of what they did. They dismantled those boys. Now, the other thing is Miami just doesn't really want it. They don't want to win like they used to. They want to be considered, I mean, it's a private school. They want to be considered more academic than they do football. So they don't want the glory years of the 90s that Miami was out there, 80s and 90s being ridiculous. They just don't want it like they used to. And so I get that. So they're not going to be great anymore. So we got to stop thinking that the U's ever going to come back, because they won't. That's on the administration. But I thought they were going to give us a better fight than this. This is crazy. Alabama just dismantled them. And like you said, they are prepared in every way, shape, or form for anything that comes toward them. So I'm not going to amend what I said as far as the championship goes, but I do believe that Alabama's just going to run through the SEC. It's ridiculous. So,
and that's in a way, this is going to turn into a bad television product, because there are going to be some teams, primarily SEC teams on Alabama's schedule, that later on in the season you're going to look forward to. You're going to plan kind of an entire day around being able to watch Alabama face whatever this team is,
and blow them out,
thinking you're going to get a good game, and then by the end of the first quarter, you know that you have now 2.5 hours to kill, because you can't watch this. You're
not going to watch second half of any of these games. Nobody's going to watch second half of most of Alabama's games.
That's a problem.
It is really a problem for college football. They got to figure out how to fix that. Exactly. I mean, the solution is paying the players out of the school budget, out of that TV money, so you can really make Alabama work hard. Because
no, it's simpler than that. Spot every team that plays Alabama 14 points. Let's start there.
But that's not going to be fun. People are going to complain it's not fair for LSU. But no, you're right. I mean, we need to just break rules and change everything because it's
evolve.
They are. Second half of Alabama games are going to be unwatchable. That's unfortunate. Now, hopefully, Florida and Florida A&M and I think Auburn has home games this year versus them. I got to remind myself if Auburn's at home real quick. I'll look right now. But I know that Florida and Texas A&M are on the road. Okay. So hopefully those are, they're playing at Auburn. So hopefully those 3 games actually gives us some competitiveness that we need. But I'm a little concerned about that. The only last thing I want to say on this, though, and I think this is the thing that kind of has always perturbed me about Nick Saban, as dominant as his teams are, I don't understand why he keeps refusing to do home and homes. That's the one thing that he refuses to do with good teams. Alabama does not do home and homes versus good teams. And that bothers me. It's always neutral site games. And then the SEC. And I guess the thought process is, well, we play in the SEC, it's tough. Well, give me a home. And if they would have went to Miami, I think the score would have been different.
I mean, that's a big part of what I want. I've got quite a few issues with the way the NCAA does their scheduling when it comes to college football. Case in point, this weekend there's pretty much no watchable game outside of, I think, Ohio State and Oregon, 4 versus 11. But that's at 11 a.m. Central Time. After that, there's really no other watchable game. So I understand that. But here's the thing. Like I was just talking about with Nick Saban. Analytically, he probably has looked at the schedule and the outcome and the win percentage and the stats and all that of every team like that, a big-time program who's done home and homes like that. So if he's not doing it, like I said, he's mastered every part of this, even down to the scheduling. So if he's not doing that, it's for a strategic reason that for some reason, somehow doing that hurts your season at some point.
No, it does. And then think about it. And before we go too far in this, but think about this. Ohio State, Oklahoma, they're infamous for doing home and homes against other good teams. They played each other.
Yes.
Oklahoma has Georgia coming to Norman in a few years. They have Nebraska coming in twice. They got Tennessee coming in again. They got Michigan coming in. That's the one thing I've always given to Oklahoma, even though it does become a fault sometimes. They are willing to go play a good team at home and on the road and see what happens. That Ohio State, Oklahoma back and forth with Baker Mayfield, that was probably some of the best football games I had watched in a long time. And they split.
Yeah.
Oklahoma won in Ohio State, and Ohio State won in Norman. So that did nothing but help their resumes look better. Alabama never wants to be the team on the road that loses, which to me, like I said, is super bothersome. So